No intro, let's just get rolling. I'm going to be talking about artist block. In my opinion, when you're blocked as an artist and you don't know what to draw or write or whatever, it's because you're bored. Uh, it's like you're bored with what you're doing. That's kind of my opinion. I'll go deeper into that. But I think there's three areas that artists naturally thrive on. The first one is imagination and creativity, just that natural element that they bring. I think really what makes an artist is being imaginative and creative. That's really kind of the essence of being an artist, I think. The second one is deadlines and pressure. I think dead I think deadlines and pressure are a huge motivator and something that we definitely can thrive from as artists. And the third one is other artists and being inspired by outside sources. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about already. It's that artist or artist that you just admire the hell out of and that really kind of gets you pumped up and excited about working on your next thing. Or other sources, people like to go to the zoo and draw tigers. Just whatever kind of gets you going outside of yourself um, to motivate you and break you through any kind of block you're in. So then let's put these ideas together. The idea here is that if you're lacking in these areas with your imagination and creativity, or if you're lacking on deadlines and pressure, or if you're lacking on having other sources of inspiration like an artist, um, like that's where you're bored, and that if you kind of need to fill up those gaps to reduce the boredom with what you're doing. That's my theory. So obviously then you need to kind of increase the amount of imagination or creativity, the increase the deadlines or pressure, or increase the inspiration that you're getting from other artists in order to alleviate the boredom that you're going through and kind of get that artist's block cleared out. Obviously, then the next question is, well, how do I do that? So I have a bunch of ideas that I've outlined that I'm going to present to you. Obviously, there's going to be more, of course. Let me know what you think in the comments or through social media. But this is just these are some ideas that I came up with. One thing you can do to break through the artist block boredom is to return to fundamentals. Instead of just take a break from whatever you're doing. Return to shading, shapes, perspective. Just work on those fundamental things. It's always good to brush up on those, obviously. But that can be a good way to kind of shake yourself out of that block and get back on track. You can also, rather than draw, take that time, that boredom that you're going through or that stagnation, and use it to learn about something new related to art. You can use it to learn about how to do new panel layouts, or learn about perspective, or learn about the history of art, or whatever. You can also check out what other artists are doing, and not just what they're drawing, but check out their websites and their social media feeds. How are they utilizing their websites and social medias? Rather than forcing your way through the boredom, just embrace it. Like, you're not going to draw anything right now, and instead use your time more wisely by focusing on the business aspect of being an artist and selling stuff, and see what other people are doing. Another idea is to challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone. You can do this by doing what I like a lot is a speed challenge. There's multiple different speed challenges out there. Just look up artist speed challenge. What I recommend is doing a 30-minute sketch of whatever you want, but you only have 30 minutes to do it. Get as far as you can, pencil, ink, and color, or whatever medium you're using. But you only have 30 minutes, and you want to get as much done as you can. What's good about this is it forces you to work. It forces you to work. It forces you out of your head, out of your thoughts, and it lets the creative process just kind of happen. You have to make very quick decisions. I love the 30-minute challenge, and then once you do it again with the same character and see how much farther you get. Something else you can do with challenging yourself is to do a comic instead of poses. A lot of us comic style artists will get stuck just doing poses over and over and over again. So do a comic, do panels, add a background, add props, just do something out of your comfort zone. It's very comfortable to do poses. Do something different. Draw emotions and draw from emotion. That's another idea. Stop doing that same angry hero face or that determined look. Draw an emotion, sad, happy. Do something just out of your norm. Just shake yourself out of the norm. Do something different. That'll help you get out of that artist block. Another idea is to draw ugly. Stop doing the same perfect hero face and body, male or female. Just draw ugly. Draw someone that has a nose that's way too big, or a forehead that's way too big, or huge eyebrows, or tiny eyebrows, or no eyebrows, whatever. Just draw ugly. Stop doing the perfect versions. Stop doing that ideal version. Make it interesting. Another way to challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone is to try a new medium. Rather than doing marker, use watercolor. Go digital instead of traditional. Stick with just pencils. Just try a new medium, or take a medium you're comfortable with a little bit farther. Another way is to try a new paper, tone tan instead of white paper, and also try a new shading style, a flat cartoon style versus going in depth with a more like painterly style. So just challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone, do something different. I mentioned drawing emotion and drawing from emotion. When I say drawing from emotion, I mean literally feel whatever it is you want to draw. Like put yourself in that place where you're feeling sad or happy or angry or surprised or scared. Feel it, then especially do the 30-minute challenge, and I think you'll see that come through. But having the emotion as part of the art is a huge part of what we do as an artist. But breaking through that artist block is if you have a feeling that's attached to it, you're not blocked anymore. You have something going on inside of you that you can put on paper. What else can you do to break through your artist block? Copy someone you admire or someone who has a very different style than you. What I mean is you can ink or color somebody else's work, find their pencils and ink or color it. It's a lot of fun. It helps you expand your process because it gets you out of your own head and kind of gets you into someone else's head a little bit, but it breaks you out of your rut, you're out of your routine and out of the boredom. You have to try on somebody else's imagination for a little bit. It's a lot of fun, for me, it gave me an appreciation of someone else's style. But that's a great way to break through any sort of rut you're in, is take on someone else's work. Also, you can copy somebody else's pencils, just like flat out copy it. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't claim it as your own, obviously. But like when you were a kid learning how to draw, you would copy Todd McFarlane or Liefeld probably, or Jim Lee. Find an artist you like and flat out copy them, especially if you're having trouble with like lips or I don't know, noses or whatever, and you like the way someone else does it. Just copy them. Try it out. Nothing wrong with that. You can trace their work. You flat out trace it. Just trace it, just like you used to when you were a kid. Get out of your rut. Trace someone else's work. Just feel what it feels like to be a different artist just for a moment. And again, obviously, you're not going to claim it as your own, but you can still do it. I think it's a lot of fun to get someone else's perspective and get out of your own head. Another thing you can do to break through your artist block is to shut off distractions. You know what I'm talking about. Music, TV, YouTube, all political stuff, all that nonsense is usually fine in the background, but I know for me personally it's a huge distraction, and I work slower, and you can't, your brain can't have more than one thought going at a time, especially effectively, especially for men. Like, we don't do well with multitasking. So if you want to break through an artist block, allow your brain and your body to experience what it's experiencing emotionally and in thoughts, and put that on paper. If you're watching Stranger Things, it might be inspiring, but it's also going to remove you from the artistic process, and it might remove you so much so that it's blocking you from moving forward. Another idea is to, if you're feeling that block, just try again another time. I do this a lot. If I'm not feeling it, I go to sleep and I try again the next day. If you have a deadline or some pressure, that's not going to work, obviously. But for me personally, it's really, really good for my natural creativity and inspiration. When I force it, it sucks. It always comes out crappy. It just doesn't look right. because emotionally I'm not feeling it at all, and that's what comes through is bland and boredom. So if I'm feeling that artistic block or that artistic boredom, I wait till I feel it. Luckily that works for me because I'm not making a living off this. If you have a deadline, that's obviously not going to work. And my final tip for breaking through artist block is to have another project to work on. I usually have 2 or 3 things that I'm working on. I have commission that I'm working on, not as often anymore, but I'll have a commission, I'll have a print that I'm working on, and I have my comic book that I'm working on, Sculpture Stories. So the commissions I take every now and then. Recently I've been doing more just to have a little bit extra money. Prints, I used to do a lot of prints, but I'm not doing conventions anymore, so prints are not nearly as often. But if I'm not doing a commission, I'm not working on the comic, I do have I always have a print in the back of my head that I'd like to get to at some point. So I have the commissions, prints, comic. I also do these videos. I upload to social media pretty frequently. There's always another project. If I'm bored with one, I jump to the other one, and so far I've been good about having a balance and actually getting things done. So you alternate between these projects based on what you're feeling in the moment, and when I'm feeling the prints or if I'm feeling the comic, I know I'm putting my best work forward in that moment for that project. If I'm forcing one, I know that doesn't work for me personally. I really hope that was helpful. All of us have artist block at some point or another, so it's normal. But I want to know what you think. Please leave a comment down below. I really want to know what you think. Is there anything that you would add to the list? Anything that you personally found helpful? Please also subscribe and give this video a like to help support me. Thanks a lot.